which I find both really fun and productive. So
neither of us is the original, the speaker for the original language, and we sort of work through our problems I think in a complementary way.
And we're going to be reading from this book, The Guest in the Wood. The poet is Elisa Biagini. She is still alive. We also worked with her to translate these poems.
Yeah, she lives in Florence. This is this one, the best translated book award of poetry this year. I keep on thinking it was last year. And it's a selection. So we translated the first edition, or the first volume of her work, L'Ospite, the guest, which we're going to read from right now. And then Eugene Ostashevsky translated with Elisa her second collection called Nel Bosco, which is in the wood. And both the collections are in this edition that came out with Chelsea editions. So we're going to read a couple poems.
Should we just do the Italian for the first and 51? And do English for the others?
No, let's do all of them.
Okay.
That's it.
We're going to do both languages for all.
They're short poems. We'll start with the Italian and then read in the English. Parlami ancora per ricette, tu col cuore che pesa 3 arance, tu con un braccio che pesa 3 mele. Hai un cervello di miele nel cappello e gli anni pesati in farina, il burro nelle rughe a mantenerti e litri di colonia come sott'olio.
Speak to me again in recipes, you with your heart that weighs 3 oranges, you with an arm that weighs 3 apples. You have a honey brain in your hat, and the years weighed in flour, the butter in your wrinkles preserves you, and liters of cologne as if pickled in oil. None of these have titles, which is why we're not saying the titles. In questa luce gialla di febbre, d'incidente, tu raccogli i miei capelli come funghi, controlli uno ad uno, fossero ancora vivi, gli occhi che mi invadono come maiuscole. Qui il tempo diventa una spirale, scuro come l'uvetta, tutto grise.
In this light, yellow, with fever, with accident, you collect my hairs like mushrooms. You check them one by one. Were they still alive? The eyes that invade me like capital letters. Here time becomes a spiral, dark like a raisin, all wrinkle. We tried to pick poems that had sort of a writing theme. So yesterday at lunchtime it was food themed, and today writing themed for the conference. Adesso vuoi che tocchi le fratture, un alfabeto braille. Vuoi che le tocchi, dopo le lettere, le ricette e i punti. Dammi i tuoi occhiali, perché separi il bianco da quell'osso e vada dritta al ferro, al tuo pensiero.
Now you want me to touch the fractures, a braille alphabet. You want me to touch them after the letters, the recipes, and the stitches. Give me your glasses so I can separate the white from the bone and go straight to the iron, to your thought. Parlando di parenti Gli occhi tristi che vi sono comuni, gialli come l'olio di frittura, si aprono e specchiano. Un figlio nato con le mani avanti per la vista della mano di una morta. Una lucertola giù per la schiena che lascia il grande male e poi ti ingoi la tua lingua con un guizzo. La mano sismica che indica facce di colonnelli, di donne spente dai parti e dal busto che pressa e respira e la fuga. E penso al tuo, Puccia Rosa, una protesi ormai fusa col tuo corpo. E anche i cani in queste foto sono tristi. E penso a te, a quest'album nero di carta moschicida, tutti i tuoi denti il giorno delle nozze, il vostro abbraccio troppo stretto nel largo della piazza, e la linea sottile di oppressione va dal cappello giù alla riga nera delle calze. Ripenso al suo busto, al tuo busto e al mio fegato su un foglio di carta delle ALTA.
Speaking of relatives, their sad eyes that you have in common, yellow like frying oil. They open and reflect. A child born hands first because of seeing a dead woman's hand. A lizard down the back that leaves the grand mal, then you swallow your tongue with a flick. The seismic hand that points out the colonel's faces. Women exhausted from childbirth, and the corset that squeezes breath and escape. And I think of yours, pink peel, a prosthesis now fused with your body. And even the dogs in these photos are sad. And I think of you, of this black flypaper album, of all your teeth on your wedding day, your embrace too tight, and the breadth of the piazza, and the thin line of oppression runs from the hat down to the black line of your stocking. I think back to her corset, to your corset, and to my liver on a piece of wax paper.
We were saying yesterday, one of the strange things about Elisa is that she is a very personal writer, but she sort of makes no concession to the reader in terms of explaining what she's talking about. So in a certain sense, it's always real, but never, I don't know, never explained.
Accessible.
Yeah, never directly accessible. So for instance, sometimes we would really get ourselves into a knot and worry that we were on the wrong track, and what does this even mean? So we asked her about this one, that line, a child born hands first because of seeing a dead woman's hand. And she said, oh, well, the mother dreamed of a dead woman's hand, and that's why the child came out hands first. So I don't know. It's an interesting kind of relationship.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, this is the last one.
This is your last poem. I'm reading, right? Questo io voglio come eredità. A4 e A4 di pelle, come già pronta per la mia stampante, per dare giusta forma a questa storia.
This I want for my inheritance, an 8.5 by 11 of skin, already ready for my printer to give the right form to this story.
Thank you.